Is basically I shoot you off the ropes, you come flying off, I jump up and pump kick you in the face.
Love it. Hey everyone, Lindsay Bettis, Miss Florida, your host of Hot Shots. We are here in downtown Sanford at the Spice is Nice. I'm joined with a very special guest, Mayor and former WWE superstar, and we're getting ready to warm things up with Mr. Matt Morgan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. We're about to make your day a whole lot worse.
What?
So let's get started because I have a super fun round of questions for us today.
Okay.
But before that, we have to warm things up.
Okay.
So this first one, I always like examining the bottle. So the first one is called Fat Cat. And I love this one because I also have a very fat cat at home. His name is Dean. And this one is Strawberry Serrano. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but below it said it's perfectly good.
Get it.
So this one should be pretty friendly. I think it's around a level 1.
Oh, so you do you do this with me?
Oh yeah. I don't make you do it alone.
All right. That's fair.
All right.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, look at the
All
difference.
right, hang on. I can't let you.
This one's friendly. We can do that later on. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
That one's really good.
That's very good. No, it really is.
It's very friendly.
It's coming.
Yeah, there's a sweet heat that's coming, and I also feel like I'm at an advantage because I drank some hot beverage the other day, coffee or something, and I burnt my mouth, so I'm pretty numb. So I might be the real winner here today. But okay, we took our first hot sauce, so now
really good.
What I want to get started with is the weirdest pageant questions I've ever been asked.
Okay.
All right. So if there was a little theme song that played every time you walked around everywhere, like you were in a little cartoon, what do you think it'd be?
That's a good question. I mean, I could say some cheeseball answer like The Eye of the Tiger, or something along those lines, but I don't have a good answer for that one.
Well, The Eye of the Tiger isn't so bad. That's actually a funny story of mine, is that was my song every year before I pumped myself up for Miss Florida. So it's cheesy, I know, but it gets the job done.
It's a great song.
It really pumps you up.
And it stands the test of time. It's a great song. But there's so many things, you know what I mean? Not to self-provoke myself, but there's a lot of things that I've overcome.
Yeah.
And so it'd have to be some song with meaning. And Eye of the Tiger could be that, actually, in that regard of overcoming your obstacles in life.
Right.
You
I
know?
love that.
17-year recovered addict, drug addict. I'm very proud of that, of overcoming that. Grew up in special education with 2 major learning disabilities. Rode the short bus to school. Overcame that. And not to get too serious here, I know I'm probably killing the mood here.
No, not at all.
But that's a tougher question than you think it is.
I know. They ask you some weird questions in pageantry. So the next one, I also love this one. This is my most infamous pageant question. If you could be any kitchen appliance, what would you be and why?
First of all, there can't be a why.
I was asked this when I was 11 years old.
Did they really ask you that?
Yes.
Good Lord.
And you know what? I feel like you're actually naturally very good at this, being mayor. I feel like you can answer any question.
Spoon?
That works for me.
Spoon, just simply because you want to be the, not the word, but you want to be the carrier and the transporter, if you will, of something good being transferred from somebody to the other.
I love that. These are deep. Okay, final pageant question. So if you could be anyone's pet, not what animal, but whose pet would you be?
Like human beings?
Yes.
Oh,
Is there a famous person that you think?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, okay.
Yeah.
Does he have any animals, do we know?
It's a great question. As his stalker, I should know that, and I didn't know that.
Well, I love that. All right, well, let's get into our next hot sauce, and we'll dive into your life a little bit more. This one has a little monkey on it, blue monkey, agave jalapeno hot sauce, and it's called the Stanky sauce.
Oh boy.
This one's very special to me because I just got back from Miss America, and our Miss America's name is Grace Stanky. So this is in honor of you, Grace.
There you go.
All right. Now we'll go a little bit lighter on the sauce.
Here we go. Ready?
All right, down the hatch.
Oh, look at that.
I'm so impolite.
Okay.
That one's very tasty too.
Pretty proud of myself. That wasn't too bad.
Which one do you like better so far? Fat Cat or Stanky?
Fat Cat because of the, because of the strawberry part of it, obviously. And it gives you a little bit of kick to it as well. So it's like two types of flavors going on at the same time, which normally I wouldn't like.
Right.
So I'm the person, when I eat my food, everything cannot be touching. I don't like that.
Really?
It's bizarre, I know, but it's weird. It weirds me out. I don't like it. So you can imagine I don't like to mix my sweets with my salts.
I can't wait to see you further down the line
But
then.
this does it somehow.
All right, so I know that you've done a lot of things in your life. So how did we end up here in Sanford, Florida? Most importantly, the mayor of Longwood.
Oh boy, how long do you guys have? Like you said earlier, I used to be a professional wrestler. I did that for about 13 years. And honestly, what moved me to Florida originally was I would lose a day of time just in travel alone. When you're a pro wrestler, you're on the road 5 days a week of every month of every year. There's no off season. I'd see my wife on a Saturday, and then Sunday night, I'm already back out on the road again for the next upcoming tour. And it was nonstop. So Florida, beautiful weather, but also major international airports. So I'd be able to cut down on the travel. I was living in Connecticut, where I'm from originally. I also lived in Louisville, Kentucky. Both of those states and where I lived always had connecting flights to get there. And I would lose almost a whole day on that.
Right.
So to be able to spend more time at home, to also, as I would get older, I figured it'd be better on my body to be out of the snow and the cold weather up north. And if you live in the Northeast, Florida is your paradise. Like we would drive every 4 years when I was a little boy as a family in our family van. And Disney World was a big deal to us as kids. So to be able to live here was like the ultimate dream, you know? So that's how it started, to want to live here.
All right, now I gotta know, how did WWE start? How did we become a wrestler?
Right, well, I grew up as a little boy, like every other kid pretty much at the time, in the 80s and 90s, growing up watching on Saturday morning WWF. It used to be called WWF back then, World Wrestling Federation. And guys like Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter and all these bigger than life characters, Ultimate Warrior, we all grew up watching and wanting to emulate as little boys or little girls. So, long story short, I always kept that dream in the forefront of my mind, and I went on to become an NCAA Division I college basketball player on scholarship. But how does one make the transition into pro wrestling? You can't go to your Boys and Girls Club and say, hey coach, show me how to swing a steel chair over somebody's head.
Absolutely.
Can't do it, right? So traditional sports was my original route, but how do I get into pro wrestling? How do I get into it? I met a gentleman when I was bouncing, and you're an NCAA athlete, you can't work throughout your school year. At the time when I was in college, you could only work in the summer times to make any kind of spending money for the following year. So I would do odd jobs. I'd work for the street department, and I'd bounce nightclubs. In walks a guy who wrote for WWE magazine. He's like, hey, did you ever think about being a wrestler? I was like, funny you should ask.
It's been my lifelong dream.
I've always wanted to do this. How does one get started? Brought me into Titan Towers, WWE headquarters, in Sanford, Connecticut. It was 2 towns over from where I'm from, originally in Connecticut. I met Vince McMahon, the owner, and they were telling me they were doing a reality show that was about to come out on MTV at the time called Tough Enough. And they picked 12 different people, and thousands of people send their audition tapes in. Yes, I'm that old, VHS tapes you would send in, and they would choose 12 of us to live in this house together in Los Angeles. Sounds like it'd be a great thing. But it wasn't. They just beat the tar out of you every single day and would try to drive you out.
Is there a lot of drama?
They tried to find it, and I think there was a couple in the house that gave it to them. I wasn't one of them. I was just one of them that was going to be fast-tracked and hopefully be signed if everything worked out well. So the name of the show was called MTV Tough Enough. I was in the 2nd season of that. I tore my knee halfway through it. They still signed me anyway. Very lucky. And that then started my career.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's try hot sauce number 3. This one is actually made right here in Sanford, called Hotter Than L. And it is the scorpion sting. So this one I'm a little bit nervous about, because it has a scorpion with dripping blood from its little tail. It's not as cute as the cat wearing sunglasses.
No, it's not.
So I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit less friendly.
It's telling us something, yes.
It might be a little much.
Ooh. Let me see how much you have. I got a little bit more than that. There we go.
Alrighty, cheers.
It's still in there. Ooh.
This time I made a very strategic move to not wear fake eyelashes. Because my eyelashes were like, last time, because I was crying and I was whimpering and I was like, we're not going to do that this time. Oh man. All right, so I got to know, sorry about that. I got to know, is there a signature move?
The carbon footprint.
The carbon footprint?
Yes.
And what is that?
Ahead of my time, already thinking of our environment.
Oh my goodness.
And this is 13, this is, not, what am I saying? I retired in 2014, I started in 2002. So back to 2002, nobody was talking about the environment.
Right.
Your boy wasn't, I'm joking. But it was called the carbon footprint. It's a bicycle kick. So it's basically, I shoot you off the ropes, you come flying off, I jump up and pump kick you in the face.
Come on, they didn't sign up for this, so, carbon footprint! Williams got cracked! Come on, I am not! Oh, it's the title shot!
Love it.
You look like you do, yeah. But it's an athletic move for a big guy. In wrestling, most of the big guys get stereotyped and choreographed to do just 5 big fat slow and dumb crap. And my moniker was the blueprint. I'm the blueprint of the perfect giant. I was a villain. I was a bad guy, obviously. Nobody roots for Goliath, right? They root for David. So blueprint being that if, you can have the perfect specimen, the perfect giant of pro wrestling. In world of pro wrestling, anybody from 6'10" and above is considered a giant in wrestling for whatever reason.
All right, let the people know, how tall are you?
7 feet.
7 feet. People don't believe me when I say that. They think I'm just exaggerating, saying that like you're super tall, but I'm like, no, he's actually 7 foot tall.
National Geographic freak factor tall, yes. Yes.
I love that. And do people recognize you when you go places?
If they're wrestling fans, sure. Yeah, between that or House did American Gladiators in 2008.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're now 2023. That heat's dying off a little bit.
I have to tell a funny story where we were at an appearance together. My mouth is burning. We were at an appearance together, and there was a little girl that was walking up, and as Miss Florida, I'm like, oh, she's so excited to see me. No, she came running up with her Matt Morgan action figure, went right up to him and gave him a hug. She could care less about me, but she was there with her action figure, and she was so excited to see him.
No.
And it was just so fun to see.
Yeah.
That you still have fans everywhere you go.
I was that kid, though.
Yeah, so you had action figures too of your favorite wrestlers?
I still have them, and my son's playing with them today.
Oh my goodness, and which one was your favorite?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, okay.
By far.
That's fair.
By
He's
far.
a good one.
By far.
So what was it like being portrayed as the villain? Was it fun?
Yes, and I mean, real life people are like, it's like nothing like you. Like, why did they have you do that, Matthew? Like my mom, my family members, do they know about what you've overcome and all this other stuff? I'm like, no, because if I tell that story, then they'll have sympathy for me. We don't want fans having sympathy for me. We want them to hate my guts, hope I die, pay their hard-earned money to see somebody kick my butt. That's the goal of being a villain as a pro wrestler. That's your job. And to make them love whoever my opponent is as the babyface or good guy. So yeah, it was a very cocky character. I don't know if people remember Mr. Perfect. He was a pro wrestler back in my childhood who was perfect at everything. Essentially, that's kind of what I was, but bigger.
But bigger.
And my Achilles heel would always be me, slipping on the proverbial banana peel, being too cocky, too arrogant, too full of myself. And before I know it, some little guy's rolling me up 1, 2, 3. What just happened?
Right.
I'm so embarrassed, that kind of stuff. And it was fun, a lot of fun.
I know, I can't imagine how fun that is. So what is your favorite thing about Seminole County, Longwood, this area in general?
Definitely that it's a mix of everything here. I mean, we are not a very big county as far as size, physical size goes, density. But each city offers something different, in my opinion, than the previous one does. And it sounds crazy because the cities themselves are very small as well. But I think you get a little bit of everything from our county.
Right.
We have some inner city portions, but then we have amazing, like, non-stop beautiful green space out in Oviedo, the Geneva area. It's beautiful. There was a lot of cool historic districts. Here in Sanford is a beautiful one. Ours, historic district in Longwood, we're very proud of. We market that.
Right.
And we're proud of it. So many cool different things that I think our county provides that others don't.
Yeah.
I think many other counties are very, one way. They're very either super duper urban or city, if you will, or maybe beach or whatever. They're not all of the above, which I feel Seminole County is.
Right.
So.
Well, let's break into our next one while we're here.
One last thing. Our schools. We have A-rated county school system. For public schools, that is enormous. That was another reason why we purchased our home in Longwood.
Right.
With the hope our son will be able to one day go to one of those schools.
Yeah.
Can't leave that out. That's
I love that.
important.
Great schools are important. All right, this one I'm not looking forward to. So this one is Ghost Tonic.
This one I'm not looking forward to.
He is a creepy ghost holding a pepper, but it almost looks like he just ripped someone's heart out.
Oh my, that is what that is supposed to be.
So.
That is what that's supposed to be. Yes,
Oh,
I
man.
agree. Wait, question.
Yes.
Should you shake that up, or does it
Probably.
make it worse for us?
That probably
if
just
you
puts like every pepper on the top and.
Yes.
All right.
And you're doing something that I should have been doing from the start. You're so smart. She's been switching spoons with a new spoon with every single one of these, and Captain Dumb over here has been letting them all pile up on each other. So what am I doing? I'm getting all of the
And you don't
above,
like your foods to touch.
right? Killing my own shtick.
All right, here we go. And this one, when they're like this dark, I feel like they're like always super spicy. So, and it's thick. I did a small amount this time.
Is it too clunky, you think? Don't do it yet.
It's the kind of like smell that just goes up
Oh, I can smell from here.
into your
I'm not
lungs.
saying it smells bad, but it smells intimidating. Like this is gonna. Come on, I just shook you up. It's coming. It's gonna come.
There we go.
Oh, come on, how much I put on there?
All
Cheers.
right, cheers. Oh my gosh.
I don't want to talk smack. I feel very confident with that so far, and I know I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna regret it here in a few seconds, I have a feeling.
All right.
So far.
Well, on that note,
I'm doing
now
good.
that my brain doesn't work, yeah, let's take a break.
Surprisingly hanging.
Cut the cameras.
Wait, are we not allowed to do that, or are we?
Oh yeah, you can drink
Okay.
water. Although that makes it worse, doesn't it? Or are we supposed to bring like gallons of
Oh,
milk?
does it? It does.
I'll do anything at this point. I'm desperate.
I didn't know this.
Okay, while you're cooling down, I know that there's a lot of things that isn't shared as often about you. So what is something that a lot of people don't know about you?
I don't know, because I'd say since 2002, everything that sounds so or nice, so cool. And I don't mean it this way or arrogantly, I don't, but I think since I got put on that reality show to become a WWE wrestler, everything I've ever done in life has always been public.
Right.
And so I think every story that's ever kind of could be told about me, I feel has.
And was your recovery journey aired on that show?
Oh my God, I'm so happy you asked that question. Thanks for asking that. I was very scared to talk about my recovery because it started in 2006. And at that particular time, 2006, now 2007, if you told a wrestling company you were an addict, who would want to sign you? I wouldn't, because at any given time, you could relapse. God forbid you relapse, you pass away, let's say, like many pro wrestlers before me have done. Now you're making unnecessary headline in the USA Today, which we've seen over the years since the 80s. A pro wrestler dies in a hotel room. And it was always of the same cause. It's a mix-up between either steroid abuse with drugs and alcohol, along with uppers or downers. So you're pressing your heart it's essentially an engine, and you're pressing the gas and the brake pedal at the same time. What's going to happen? Your engine eventually will cease. It's the same thing with our hearts, as being a pro wrestler. So to answer your question, I was like nervous. I was very nervous to talk about it. I would talk to the guys backstage that I knew were struggling, and I was like maybe 6 months into my sobriety at the time, and telling them like, you won't believe this. You can do this.
Right.
Oh my God, guys, it's not what we thought it was. Like I swear you can do this. And you got to go into detox, you got to go into treatment. At least that was what I would tell them. And eventually, it got back to our owner at the time. I was working for a new company at the time called TNA Impact Wrestling. And they used to be on Spike TV every, I believe, Thursday night. And they were WWE's rival at the time. And I was working for them. And they had a great female owner named Dixie Carter, bad woman. And she came to me one day, she goes, you need to tell people your story. Like, I don't know why you're scared to talk about it. I'm like, because I was scared of being blackballed, from these companies, you or the other company. Because why would they want to work with me? And she's like, because you're strong enough to want to talk about it. You should be in our kids' schools talking about this. So I had this complete 180 degree about, face, where now something that I was nervous to talk about, you can't shut me up about,
right.
Now we're at a much different climate today where you get that attaboy, you get that pat on the back, you get the, oh, we're cheering for you, hopes and prayers and all that other stuff, which is great. Oh my God, that's amazing. But back then it wasn't there yet, in 2006, 2007. And so that story is the one, along with, I'm a father of a nonverbal autistic son, Jackson. He's 9 years old. My wife and I were told for 12 years we couldn't have kids. We have no shot in heck of ever having kids. She by herself couldn't get pregnant. Me by myself could not get someone pregnant, is the way we were told. Mm-hmm. So combined, we have like negative chances of having kids. And over the 12-year course, we went through 8 bouts of IVF with ICSI. It's the most expensive one you can get, procedure you can get. None of it worked. And then we prayed, I prayed, and that's the truth. Every night we would pray, literally, out loud.
Right.
And eventually, we were blessed. She naturally got pregnant, which is still insane to me. And we got blessed with Jackson, who then 2.5 years later was diagnosed as being nonverbal autistic. And that's why I retired from pro wrestling, from the delivery room the day he was born. I wasn't expecting to make that decision.
Right.
I just thought I'd be a dad, but still have to go back on the road and go make money. But no, I didn't want to be away from him. And I had this weird feeling come over, this switch that I'm done. 13 years has been long enough. I've been smart with our money. It's time to be a dad. I'll figure out something else to do in the meantime. But number one, I got to be a dad. And so these stories, a lot of people know these stories, but they don't know like the depth of it. Like maybe they don't know how hard it was for us to have kids, or told that we can't have kids, and we're this close to adopting. Like we were right there, But I think the Lord made us wait as long as He did, because the fact that I would not have been in a place where I still have to be on the road back 12 years earlier, earning my living, getting dropped on my head for a living as a pro wrestler, but 5 days a week of every month on the road, right? So is no disrespect to any father that has that kind of schedule, I don't mean that, but that wouldn't have worked for me.
Right.
Would I have been mature and all that other stuff that it would have taken and organized and, good Lord, everything else it takes to be able to right father to this little boy that would drive me to occupational therapy, speech therapy, sensory integration therapy, equine therapy, the list goes on, eating therapy. He has 5 or 6 therapies, 6 out of the 7 days a week that we take him to before he starts his school day, and sometimes after. Would I have been able to do that? No. So, I always think everything is on, the Lord's time. I believe that, and He's an example of it.
Absolutely, and we need a redo with this man as the hero. Let's put him back on. I'll start the petition. After all that, and they still made you a villain. All right, let's try our final one.
It's just because I'm big. If you're clicking through the channels, you see this big person, this short person, who are you going to root for? Short person, always.
All right, this one is also another hotter than L made here in Sanford, and this is the Molotov Cocktail.
Oh, that does what?
This one is not user friendly.
Does it really say that? Let me see this. Oh my God, it really does say that. Oh my God.
And let's see what it says here on the back, and I'm definitely just delaying the inevitable. We specialize in heat with flavor, and it's got 4 peppers and then an explosion next to it. So let's see here what this tastes like. Oh man. Ah! It's like having a chemical reaction in it. That can't be good either.
That's a good one.
This one smells pretty sinister.
Good word. Oh boy. Let me see how much you have. There we go. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Oh boy. We're gonna pay for that one. That one. Oh yeah. Oh. Have your cameras do ya?
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely gonna bring a jug of milk next time because I'm learning my lesson the hard way.
It's brutal.
All right, so.
It's just getting worse. It's not getting any better. Right?
I know, it hasn't gotten better.
Every progressing half a second, it's getting worse.
I know.
I want to get off this table. I know I can't. I gotta remain calm. But a big part of me wants to run and smash all these cameras and then run out of the run out.
Which one of these do you think would defeat a villain on the WWE?
Oh my good lord. This.
Do you think that would take someone out?
Oh, this would beat The Rock. That's how strong this is. This is some strong stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Like talking right now feels weird.
I know.
I feel like
I thought I was going to have some more questions, but the brain just stops working always at this point. So.
I don't have control of my tongue right now, I feel like.
And it's like in my chest.
Oh, is it?
It is like in my chest, burning all the way like
here.
Into my eyes. But it's been such a fun experience. And if this sounds like fun to you, come down here to the Spice is Nice and come, take yourself a nice rewarded trip to the burn ward. Well, thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you better, and
well, my friend.
We can't wait to see everything that you'll do to keep impacting the community.
Side note, super proud of you.
Thank you.
Every single thing you're doing in this community. How old are you?
I am 25.
Do you know what I was doing at 25, folks? Not this. Sincerely, I was just starting my wrestling career at the time, and what you're doing is major impact and bringing demographics to the world of addiction, alcohol and drug addiction rather, that may not be up to speed on what's going on and the services that can be provided, and to have you be at the forefront of that and use your crown to do so.
Well, thank you so much. And
all bow to the queen.
Now that I don't even know how you got that out of your mouth at this point because I have no more words.
Right.
But thanks for heating things up, and we're out of here to go cool things down.
Hey guys, it's Dino here, owner of Spice is Nice. You seen them try these sauces? Come on down yourself, give it a shot. Are you strong enough? Can you handle it? Won't know until you try it.